Alrighty guys, well hopefully Julian and Siyabonga have helped you reorientate yourself within the topic that we're doing this week. My brain is already going to mush, but let me see if I can help you with one last question today, guys. Now after me, Julian will be taking the final question for the show. But for now, we have a question sent by Ayanda. Let's see what he has to say.
Morning tenfold. My name is Ayanda. I'm from the East Rand in Heidelberg, and I need help with the question that I'm struggling with. So basically, this is the question. I don't know if you could see question 5 and question 6. It says, it's actually factorizing, where I need to factorize 15x cubed plus 53x squared minus 58x minus 120. And the second question is x cubed plus 14x squared plus 41x minus 56. Please help me. I really need help.
Okay, cool guys. So while Julian did the long division method, I'm going to be covering the synthetic division method. So the first thing you have to do when you get a polynomial that you need to be factorizing using synthetic division, you need to find that first factor, guys. So I'm going to use the same method that he did. I'm going to plug my polynomial into the calculator and see for that first factor which one of them gives me a remainder of 0. Because if you know that it turns out a remainder of 0, it means it's a factor of that polynomial. So my polynomial reads, it says factorize using synthetic division, x cubed plus 14x squared plus 41x minus 56. Okay, so I'm going to get my calculator out and put that polynomial in. Okay, so using the table mode, we have x cubed plus 14x squared plus 41x minus 56. Okay, I'm going to start at -5 just to be safe and end at 5. The step will be 1. Okay, so if I look at this table here, guys, immediately I see that when x equals 1, the polynomial equals 0, which means that x equals 1 is a factor, which means the factor bracket, remember the signs change the moment you put it in a bracket. Okay, but for synthetic division, guys, we use the factor to divide in. Okay, so to set it up, put the factor that we're dividing by. Then we write down the coefficients of our x values there. Okay, so the coefficient of x cubed is 1, x squared is 14, just x is 41, and the last coefficient is -56. Remember, guys, it's that whole coefficient there. Okay, so for synthetic division, guys, remember you bring down that first term, so we have 1 there. Then you multiply that 1 by the factor that we're using. So 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. You then add these two, guys, remember with your synthetic division, so that gives you 15. We then do the same thing again. We multiply 15 by 1, we get 15. If we add those two together, we get 56. So that gives us 56 over there. And then if we add these two together, we get 0. Okay, guys, that last term there indicates the remainder that we have when we've divided our polynomial by the factor that we're working with. Okay, so the moment you have a remainder of 0 means that there's nothing left over. That factor divided wholly into your polynomial means it's a proper factor of that. Okay, so what we've worked out here, guys, these here are the coefficients of our next factor. Okay, so this here, the first factor that we had, remember we said that x minus 1 is the first factor. And then this here, these are the coefficients of the next factor. So we get x squared plus 15x plus 56. Okay, guys. Now I immediately see that this can be factorized further. That first one is in its simplest form. But, guys, factors of 56 that add to 15 are 7 and 8. Okay, so that's a nice and simple, easy synthetic division question. Let's move on to the next one. Next one is a little bit harder because the coefficients are quite big. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to get the calculator out again. I'm going to put in my polynomial again. So we have 15x cubed plus 53x squared minus 58x minus 120. I'm going to start at -5, end at 5 again. Okay, so immediately I see x equals -4 gives us a remainder of 0, which means that the factor is x plus 4. Remember, guys, opposite sign in the brackets. Okay, but synthetic division, always use the actual factor. Okay, so factor goes on the left. Now we write out our coefficients. So of x cubed is 15, x squared is 53, x is negative 58, it's the whole coefficient, and the last one is negative 120. Okay, so bring down the first one, we get 15. 15 multiplied by negative 4 is negative 60. We add these two together, and we get negative 7. Okay, now we multiply this by our factor, we get 28. Okay, now we add again, so negative 58 plus 28 gives us positive 30. Whoa, negative 30, look at me talking rubbish. Okay, then we multiply this one by our factor again, that gives us 120, and if we add those two together, we get 0. Remember, remainder 0 means it's a perfect factor. Again, guys, we've now solved for the coefficients of our next polynomial. So this here already gives us our first factor, x plus 4. Remember, the moment it goes in brackets, the signs change. Then here, these are the coefficients of our next polynomial. So we get 15x squared minus, whoa, that's terrible, minus 7x minus 30. Okay, so guys, I don't know about you, but by the time you hit matric, factorizing a polynomial like this where they're big coefficients, I don't love trying to find the two brackets that multiply out by using factors and all of that stuff. So I'm just going to be lazy and use a quadratic formula. You guys should know how to do this. We use it in everything. We use it in even functions when we're working with, what are they called, parabolas, etc. I'm just going to be lazy. Okay, so to find the factors for these brackets, I'm just going to have a side note here. Quadratic formula says that we take x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this into my calculator here. Move it down here. Okay, so get it onto the right mode first. Whoa, mode 1. Mode, my goodness, there we go. Okay, so x equals b is over here. Okay, so negative b is positive 7. So we get 7 plus the square root of b squared, which is 7 squared, minus 4 multiplied by a and c. So we get negative 30 as c, all over 2a, which is 2 times 15. Okay, so that means we have a factor of 5 over 3. Okay, guys, so here we have x plus 4. And when we say 5 over 3, guys, it means that we have, let me double check, 5x minus 3. Am I talking nonsense? Yes, I am talking nonsense. These need to swap. Okay, so we get 5 over there, 3 over there. Okay, so our next factor, easy when we go to our quadratic formula, we just need to change that sign because it was plus or minus. There. So we get negative 6 over 5. Okay, so that means the 6 goes over here, positive over there, and 5x over there. Okay, so guys, that is our factorized polynomial using synthetic division. Hopefully you guys are familiar with this method of doing things. I really prefer synthetic division. I don't love the whole daddy, mommy, sister, brother situation. It's long-winded. It takes up your whole page. So yeah, but that's me for the day. Thanks for joining us, guys. Julian's going to take the next question, so stay tuned after the ad break.